Good morning, students. So today we are going to start our next chapter, that is reflection of light. So what is reflection? So you know that reflection means bouncing back of light. So whenever a beam of light strikes a surface, okay, suppose this is a surface. So whenever a beam of light strikes a surface, some part of it actually bounces back. So this bouncing back of light is called the reflection. Now, whenever a beam of light strikes a surface, a part of it returns into the same medium. So, why a part of it returns? So, because some part the surface, some part of light it actually reflects, but some part it can absorb. For example, suppose if you put your book in the sunlight, you will see after few time it is heated. That means you will feel very warm. So why it is heated? Why it is heated? Because it reflects light. It reflects some sunlight. That is for sure. But it also absorbs some amount of light also. So due to this absorption of light, your book is actually heated. So what is the use of reflection of light? So due to the reflection of light, we can see the things around us, okay, or it enables us to see the different object around us. So for example, how can see your object? Suppose you are in a room, you are in a very dark room, okay. So suppose this is your dark room. So suppose in this room you have a book placed on a table. So this is your book, and in this room you have a source of light also. Okay. So 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 when there is no light, so in the dark room, when there is no light, so you're not able to see this book. So as soon as you switch on the light, you will able to see this book. How? Because when you turn on the light from the suppose from the bulb, okay, it will strike the book, okay. So light will fall all over the room, okay. So light will fall in the book also. So that means light rays it will fall on the book. So what will happen? The book will reflect some. Book is a not a smooth surface, so it will reflect the light in all the directions, okay. It will reflect the light. So blue light is the reflected light, okay. So it will reflect light in all the direction. So when this reflected light it will reach your eye, at that moment you will be able to see this book. So in this way reflection helps us to enable us to see the different objects around us, okay. So in this way you can see the things clearly. Now there are different surfaces reflected light to different extents. For example, the highly polished surface and the highly polished surfaces, they like plane mirror, they reflect actually almost entire light falling on it, okay. Plane mirror, they actually reflect almost all the light, not all the light but almost. Some part of it obviously it get absorbed or transmitted. So what is a plane mirror? Plane mirror is the it made from a few millimeter thick glass plate, okay. So this is the your thick glass plate, okay. So one surface it is polished to a high degree of smoothness. That means one surface it is polished, but other surface it is coated with silver means silver, mercury or some suitable material, okay. So the first surface it is polished, and the second surface it is coated with silver. So what happens? So that means the light can easily enter the polished surface, but it cannot penetrate the silver coating. So that means light will reflect through this plane mirror, okay. So light will reflect means, so in the plane mirror you can see your image clearly. So this is the plane mirror. Now there are two kinds of reflection. One is called regular reflection and other is called irregular reflection. So regular reflection means when light falls on a smooth surface, regular reflection occurs. So this image shows you the regular reflection. So you can clearly see that the parallel beam of light, they are actually falling on the plane mirror, okay, and the reflected light is they are also parallel, Okay, so this type of reflection is called regular reflection. The another kind of reflection is called this kind of reflection is called regular reflection. There is another kind of reflection that is called irregular reflection. Irregular reflection means, so when light strikes the rough surface, for example, when light strikes your book is a rough surface, or your bed, or room walls of a room, so they are actually rough surface. So then in this case, light actually reflected in all the directions. Okay, the light reflected in all the directions. So this kind of reflection is called irregular reflection. Okay, so here you can see the parallel beam of light, they are actually falling, but the reflected rays, they are not parallel. Okay, they reflected in all the direction. So actually, due to the irregular reflection, we can see the objects clearly. Due to this irregular reflection, we can see the objects clearly, because in the first case I gave you the example. So when light will fall on a book, okay, so the light will get reflected in all the directions. Since the light will get reflected in all the directions, so that means you can see this book in from all the direction, from any angle. Okay, you can see, if you are standing here, then you can see the book. If you are standing here, then also you can see this book. Okay, because irregular reflection, in irregular reflection, light reflected in all the directions. So this kind of irregular reflection, it is also called diffused reflection. So it is the diffused light obtained by reflection from various uneven surfaces, which enables us to see the object around us. So that means this irregular reflection helps us to see the objects around us. Now there are some terms related with the reflection. The first is incident ray. So what is incident ray? Incident ray means the ray which falls on the ray of light which falls on the surface is called the incident ray. So here AO ray is your incident ray. Okay. Now reflected ray means the ray which bounces back from the surface is called the reflected ray. So here OB is your reflected ray, because it is bouncing back from the surface. Point of incidence means the point at which the incident ray strikes at the reflecting surface. So from which point the incident ray is striking the surface, so at point O, this incident ray is actually striking this surface. Which one is your surface? This M prime, this is actually your surface. This can be your plane mirror or water surface, anything. Okay, so at this point O, your incident ray actually striking this surface. So this is called, this point O is called point of incidence. Now what is normal line? Normal line means, normal is a imaginary line which is perpendicular to your surface. So which one is your surface? This M prime is your surface. So it is your surface. The normal line is perpendicular line. Perpendicular line means a line which is which makes an angle 90 degree with your surface. So here there is green line, it is your normal line. Okay, because this angle, this between green line and blue line, this angle is 90 degree. Again the other angle is also 90 degree. Okay, so perpendicular means it makes an angle 90 degree with your surface. Okay, so this NO line, it is actually your perpendicular line. Now what is incident angle? Incident angle means the angle between incident ray and the normal line. So this AO is incident ray and NO is your normal line. So this angle between your incident ray and normal line I, it is your incident angle. So what is reflected angle? Reflected angle means angle between the reflected ray and the normal line. So this is OB is your reflected ray and NO is your normal line. So this angle between OB and NO, this is called your reflected angle R. Correct? Angular incidence, angular reflection, plane of incidence. So plane of incidence means the plane containing the incident ray and the normal line is called the plane of incidence. Okay, so plane means, remember, plane is a two-dimensional figure. Plane means it has a length and breadth. It is a two-dimensional figure. Okay, now there are three dimensions of figure also. Three dimension means which has length, breadth as well as height. Plane means it is a two dimensional figure, that means it has only length and breadth. So I said the plane of incidence means the plane containing the incident ray and the normal line. So this plane, so this two dimensional figure is called the plane of plane of incidence. Now plane of reflection, the plane containing the reflected ray and the normal line. So this plane is actually your reflected plane of reflection. So I am telling you again. Suppose, okay, suppose this is x-axis, this is y-axis. So this is minus x-axis and this is minus y-axis. Plane of incidence means the plane containing the incident ray and normal line. So that means this plane, this minus xy plane, this is actually your plane of incidence, correct? This two-dimensional figure. Now plane of reflection means the plane containing normal line and reflected ray. So this plane, green one, so this plane is this plane xy plane is your plane of reflection. Okay, now, okay, so I have already explained this one. AO is your incident ray, OB is your reflected ray, NO is your normal line, MM prime is your plane, I is your incident angle, R is the reflected angle. Okay, so that means AO angle is your incident angle, AON is your incident angle, this angle I, and NOB is your reflected angle R. Okay. Now there are two laws of reflection. First law is the angle of incidence I is equals to angle of reflection. So that means incident angle is always equals to the reflected angle. So if incident angle is 45 degree, then the reflected angle will be 45 degree. If incident angle is 30 degree, then reflected angle will be also 30 degree. Okay, so incident angle is also equals to reflected angle. Now second law is the incident ray, reflected ray and the normal line, they lie in the same plane. Obviously you can see this incident ray, reflected ray, they are lying in the same plane. Same plane means they are lying in the same two-dimensional figure. So you can, so you can capture in this square also. That means you can denote this incident ray reflected on normal line. Okay, you can plot in x and y axis only, you don't need the z axis. Okay, so this is, that means they are lying in the same plane. Okay, they are lying in the two dimension, not in three dimension. That is they want to say actually. Now reflection of a ray light normally incident on the plane mirror. So what happens if a light ray falls normally? So suppose, so mm prime is your suppose plane of mirror. Okay, this is a plane. So suppose if light falls falls perpendicularly in this line, then what will happen? Then what is your incident angle? Now this is your normal line and light is falling on the normal line itself. So the incident angle is how much? Incident angle is equals to 0. So if incident angle is 0 degree, then reflected angle will be also 0 degree. So that means if light falls vertically in this way on the normal line, then the light will be reflected back in the same line. Okay, so that means the path of incident ray and the path of reflected ray, that will be same. Okay, if light falls normally, that means the light falls on the normal line. Okay, so that's all for today. So in this next class we are going to discuss about the experimental verification of laws of reflection. So thank you for today.